All right, so the holidays may be around the corner. That means lots of eating, and that also means a lot of holiday stresses. But that doesn't mean that you have to cast your health aside with everything coming up. So here with us on how we can keep the healthy habits intact throughout the holidays is life coach and doctor of Oriental Medicine, Beth Generis. Beth, thanks for coming in. Very important subject. The holidays can be very difficult on so many levels. So let's talk a little bit about the things that we need to do to prepare for the holidays. What tips do you have for us to make sure that we can have a fun and healthy holiday season?
Okay, so the first set of things, I like to talk about it from a spirit, mind, body perspective. So we have, I'm going to talk about this sort of in a very interesting way. We have a sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, right? Sympathetic is stress, fight or flight. Parasympathetic is relaxation. We want to try to get as much of that relaxation on board to help us really be focused about how to be relaxed.
Okay.
Holidays are really stressful. People can be sad, they don't have their family, they eat too much, they drink too much. So what can we do? So first set of things is to think about what I call brain foods.
Brain foods, okay.
Right. So anything that kind of looks like a brain would be great. Walnuts, pecans. Think about, we already do it a little bit with holidays.
Yeah,
We already eat
you always
foods
have
like
the
that, right?
nuts and the very nuts,
right.
okay.
Or when we make our foods, we do that. So also you can use, interestingly enough, cacao is a very good brain food. It looks a little bit like a brain if you ever see what the bean looks like, the chocolate bean. So chocolate can be helpful. Not too much chocolate,
We're
high
also
level
talking,
of cacao.
we also hear, so the high level of cacao, so like the dark chocolates.
Correct.
Unfortunately, the milk chocolates,
That's
not
just
going to cut
pretty
it.
much sugar.
That's just sugar.
Not really that good for us. And in fact, sugar is one of the problems. It's an inflammatory, you have an inflammatory response. For kids, it'll make their brain a little.
Boy,
so you know, we
do I know
have
that.
this spirit, mind, body connection. So we want to go for things that do make us feel better, but also really do help our brains.
Okay.
And so I think about foods and smells, lots of water. When you're drinking, if you're going to have a drink, have a glass of water, an 8-ounce glass of water for every alcoholic drink you have. That'll really help you.
Okay.
Because alcohol makes the cell in your brain have very little water and not work very well, whereas water will totally help your cells in your brain. You can think faster, your memory's better, and you feel better.
Now, one thing, you have a phrase, attitude precedes ability, which I think is a pretty cool thing. I think I've got an idea of what that means, but break that down for me.
So I joke about it. I say, here's the example. If you have a flat tire, I mean, a bad attitude is just like a flat tire. If you don't change it, you're not going anywhere, right? So the reason I say that is attitude really brings to the table your attention and how you're going to respond. So the attitude of gratitude is the most helpful way to really shift that. And how can you do it? Start thinking about what's working instead of what isn't working.
Right, which can be very, I mean, sometimes that can be a very difficult thing to do because we get it into our mindset. Now, you mentioned gratitude. You actually refer to gratitude as an amazing antidepressant.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. What do you mean by that?
So let's say you're having a fight with your partner and that person does that thing they always do that upsets you, and now your brain starts pulling in every other difficult thing they did to prove your point what a jerk that person is, right? Well, the attitude of gratitude, so now you start to feel bad. Why am I in this relationship? I should get out of this relationship. But if you do the opposite, if you say, okay, right, they did that thing, I don't really like it, but here are the 6 things they do that I really love, that really supports me, that are really good, your brain starts to shift and you become more holistic in your perception, changes your whole perspective, you feel better.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And you know, again, I think that it's something that can be so ingrained in just the way that we behave. So really, you're talking about changing our perspectives on this. Now, during the holiday season, obviously, it can be very difficult to do that. Things are constantly moving. Do you have a tip if we start finding ourselves getting our backs up, getting into this negative space? Do we stop? Do we take a breath? Do we meditate? What do we need to do to recenter ourselves and approach from a good way?
So breath work is a wonderful suggestion. Absolutely good. Just breathing deeply is great. And say, okay, what do I really want to do here? What do I have control over? And what do I not have control over? If somebody cuts you off, there's nothing you can do about it. You slow down, let them go, right? All right, so one of the things that I talk with people about is just have a list beforehand, right? After they watch this segment, in the commercial, write down some things that really do help them to feel better. What smells do they like? Here's some tricks that I know about. Lemon helps to deal with anger. Have a glass of lemon water.
Really?
Have a
Wow.
glass of chamomile tea. It's very calming. It works with your neurotransmitters. You can, some people drink Earl Grey tea. Well, in Earl Grey tea, it's black tea and bergamot. Bergamot is, again, an anti-anxiety. There are smells and tastes that are really helpful. So we all know what they are. Cacao, we talked about chocolate, of course. Licorice brings down the level of your heart. It helps your pulse. It helps your digestion. So there are different things that you can do with smells and with tastes. And so write those things down beforehand. Write down the things that you know are helpful to you. Take a walk. Leave the situation. If you're really getting stressed, walk outside. Take a breath. Do this attitude of gratitude, and then return. What can I control?
So now a couple of these. So a couple of books here I want to mention really quick before we run out of time. Now, these are books that you have written. These are available locally.
They are. You can find them at Page One.
Okay.
And you can also get them online, Amazon.com.
Okay.
And BarnesandNoble.com.
Okay.
Not in the store Barnes & Noble, but online.
BN.com. Okay.
And Bookworks also.
And Bookworks, fantastic. All right, well, this is really good stuff, and you know, obviously, this is a whole show in and of
We
itself,
could
how to
talk
handle the
forever.
holidays.
Yeah,
so, a couple of books to get out: Turning No to On and Turning Me to We. Head over to our friends at Bookworks, or if you need more information, head over to KRQE.com. We will have all this information under our links. Beth, good to see you. Take
Thank
care.
you, Chad.
We'll be right back,
It's great
folks.
to be here.